Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's presentation. I'm excited to be here with you. Today, we'll be exploring how to automate Microsoft Teams creation and management. The main focus will be on streamlining team provisioning, enhancing security, and managing the entire lifecycle using Power Automate and the Microsoft Graph API. Over the next few minutes, I'll show you how these tools can make your team's environment more efficient and secure. So, let's dive in and see what's possible. Today, I want to introduce you to the concept of automated Teams creation. Essentially, it's about streamlining how we set up and manage Microsoft Teams. By automating this process, we can significantly reduce the manual effort involved, which not only saves time, but also helps us enforce standardization across all teams. This means that whether we're creating teams for new projects, departments, or offices, the setup is uniform and efficient. The key benefit here is speed, getting new teams up and running quickly. When we combine tools like Power Automate with the Microsoft Graph API and JSON, we can programmatically create teams with predefined channels and settings. This automation ensures consistency, so every team has the right structure from the start, making onboarding smoother and more reliable. Overall, automating Teams creation isn't just about saving time. It's about creating a scalable, standardized approach that supports our growth and new initiatives seamlessly. It helps us move faster and maintain quality across all our team's environments. In this slide, we're focusing on the goals and outcomes of our session, specifically around automating the creation and management of Microsoft Teams. These skills are crucial because they enable us to set up teams quickly, securely, and in a way that can be easily repeated across different scenarios. One of the key points is efficient and secure teams provisioning. This means not only creating teams rapidly, but also ensuring that the process is safe and compliant. It's important because, as organizations grow, the ability to manage this at scale becomes critical. We also need to consider cleanup management. When teams, SharePoint sites, or M365 groups are no longer needed, we want to be able to remove them cleanly. This allows us to reuse names and resources without delays, keeping our environment organized and avoiding clutter. Security is another major focus. Securing authorization tokens is essential to protect our data and workflows. Integrating Azure Key Vault for secret management helps us handle credentials securely, reducing risks associated with token exposure. Next, we look at how to trigger automated workflows. Using a SharePoint list as a trigger is a practical way to initiate team creation processes automatically, making the whole flow seamless and user-friendly. Finally, we'll explore how to create teams with different types of channels, standard, private, and shared, using Power Automate and the Microsoft Graph API. This allows us to customize teams based on specific needs and collaboration models. And to make all this happen smoothly, we need to identify the right tools for automated Teams creation. Choosing the right tools ensures our processes are reliable, scalable, and efficient, supporting our overall goal of streamlined team management. In this slide, I want to highlight how we can automate the creation and management of Microsoft Teams, especially for managed services. One key use case is creating teams for new practices or offices, which helps keep things organized and efficient. For example, we often include external collaboration through shared channels. Take the shared channel named IT Support. This allows us to communicate easily with external IT staff without having to add them directly to the main team. It keeps the communications streamlined and secure. Next, handling confidential information is critical. That's where private channels like the one named Executive come into play. These channels are reserved for sensitive discussions and ensure that only authorized people have access. Another important point is maintaining a standardized channel structure across all teams. Having a consistent set of channels ensures uniformity, making it easier for everyone to know where to find information and collaborate effectively. Finally, the core purpose of automating this process is to support our managed services model. Whenever a new practice or office is onboarded, we automatically create a team. This approach guarantees that communication and collaboration are seamless right from the start, supporting our overall goal of efficiency and consistency. Now, let's take a closer look at the standard channels you'll find in every team. These channels are essential for keeping your team organized and ensuring smooth communication. First, we have the training channel, which is dedicated to organizing and strategizing team activities related to skill development and training initiatives. It's where you can plan sessions and share learning resources. Next is the planning channel, which provides access to crucial resources and materials needed for practice and preparation. This helps the team stay aligned and ready for upcoming tasks. Then, there's the practice resources channel, focused on day-to-day activities and operational tasks, making it easy to find tools and documents you need regularly. Moving on, the operations channel is used for team-wide updates and important notifications, keeping everyone on the same page. And finally, the announcements channel, which is the go-to spot for sharing major updates and critical information with the entire team. These standard channels are fundamental because they support effective collaboration, streamline communication, and help your team stay organized, key themes that run throughout our entire presentation. Now, let's take a closer look at the tools required to automate Microsoft Teams creation and management. These tools work together to ensure that the process is secure, scalable, and fully automated. First, we have unified automation. This is the central component that hosts the list which triggers the entire workflow for creating teams automatically. It acts as the brains behind the operation, ensuring everything runs smoothly. Next, SharePoint plays a crucial role in securing our clients' secrets and credentials. Since authentication involves sensitive information, SharePoint helps keep everything protected and organized. Then there's Azure Key Vault, which manages our app registrations and permissions for API access. It's like a secure vault for all the keys and secrets needed to interact with the APIs safely. Moving on, Microsoft Entra ID provides the REST endpoints that allow us to create teams, set up channels, and manage members. This is the interface we're using to perform these actions programmatically. Microsoft Graph API is another essential tool that orchestrates workflows and handles HTTP actions. It connects all these components, making sure data flows correctly and processes are executed in sequence. Finally, Power Automate ties everything together by orchestrating workflows and automating HTTP actions. It's like the conductor of the entire automation orchestra, ensuring each step happens at the right time and in the right order. Altogether, these tools form a cohesive ecosystem that enables us to automate teams provisioning efficiently and securely, aligning perfectly with our overall goal of streamlined collaboration. Now, let's take a closer look at Entra app registration and permissions, specifically how they enable us to automate Microsoft Teams creation and management. The permissions we set up are crucial because they allow the app to interact with Microsoft Teams and user profiles effectively. Think of these permissions as the app's access rights, ensuring it can perform necessary actions securely and efficiently. The main purpose here is to provide secure, delegated access, which means the app can create and manage teams programmatically without compromising security. This setup is essential for automating processes while maintaining control over who can do what. It's important to note that admin consent is required to grant these permissions. This step ensures that only authorized administrators approve the app's level of access, adding an extra layer of security. Now let's briefly review the key permissions involved. First, group, read write, all allows the app to manage groups and teams, which is fundamental for creating and organizing teams. Second, team, create enables the app to generate new teams automatically. Lastly, user, read basic, all allows the app to read user profiles so it can assign members appropriately. All of this hinges on registering an application in Microsoft Entra ID, which handles authentication for our API calls. This registration process is the foundation that enables our app to securely interact with Microsoft Graph API and perform the necessary management tasks seamlessly. In summary, setting up these permissions and registration processes is vital for automating Teams management in a secure, controlled manner, integral to our broader goal of streamlining collaboration through automation. Let's now look at how we generate an authorization token, which is a critical step in automating Microsoft Teams creation and management. First, we need to send a POST request to the Microsoft login endpoint at login, Microsoft.com, replacing tenant ID with our specific tenant ID. This request is what allows us to authenticate and obtain access. In this request, we provide essential information in the body, including the tenant ID, client secret, grant type, and scope. These parameters are necessary to identify our application and specify the permissions we need. Once we send this request successfully, we receive a bearer token. This token is like a digital key that authorizes our subsequent calls to the Microsoft Graph API, which is the core service for managing Teams and other Microsoft 365 resources. It's very important to store our client secrets and other sensitive information securely. We do this by leveraging Azure Key Vault, which keeps these secrets safe and protected from unauthorized access. Additionally, when using Power Automate, we can utilize its secure input features. This way, secrets are never exposed in logs or during the flow execution, maintaining a high level of security throughout the process. Overall, this process ensures that our automation is both secure and efficient, allowing us to manage Teams seamlessly without compromising sensitive information. Now, let's talk about how using Azure Key Vault for security really strengthens our overall approach. By storing our client secrets in Key Vault, we ensure that sensitive information is kept safe and centralized. When we use Power Automate's Get Secret action, we can securely fetch and decode those secrets on the fly, without ever exposing them in plain text within our workflows. This dynamic secret retrieval adds a layer of protection, making our automation more secure and reliable. Plus, because secrets are managed centrally, we have better access control and visibility, which is crucial for maintaining compliance. Azure Key Vault acts as a secure vault, safeguarding critical credentials like client secrets and ensuring everything stays protected as we automate Microsoft Teams creation and management seamlessly. This integration not only boosts security, but also simplifies management, aligning perfectly with our goal of building a robust, compliant automation process. Now, let's talk about the importance of using a dynamic name for the display name, such as Practice Team Practice Name. This approach allows us to create unique and easily identifiable teams for each practice, making management much simpler. Next, we set the visibility to private, which is crucial for restricting access and ensuring only authorized members can see the team. This method we're discussing is designed to programmatically provision teams with consistent settings, streamlining the process and reducing manual effort. The purpose of this method is to standardize how teams are created, ensuring they all follow the same structure and access controls. We reference a standard Teams template using the template at OData, bind parameter, which helps us maintain consistency across all teams. The visibility setting, as mentioned, is set to private to keep the team access restricted. The display name, as discussed, is dynamic, incorporating the practice name for clarity. The description provides an explanation of the team's purpose, making it clear to members and administrators alike. Key elements of the JSON body include these parameters, which are used in an HTTP POST request to the Microsoft Graph API endpoint at https://graph Microsoft.com/v10/teams. This is the core action that creates a new team automatically. By automating this process, we can efficiently create and manage teams at scale, which aligns with our overall goal of streamlining collaboration and ensuring consistency across the organization. Now, let's look at how we can automate the process of creating and managing Microsoft Teams, specifically when adding owners to the team. One key point here is the use of the roles array, which contains the owner role. By assigning this role, we're ensuring that the person has the necessary ownership rights, which is crucial for proper team management and administrative control right from the moment the team is created. When it comes to linking the user profile, we do this through the user at OData, bind property. This is essentially a URL binding that connects to the user's Microsoft Graph profile using their user ID. It's a reliable way to associate a user with their specific profile, ensuring the correct individual is given ownership. Each owner object in this process includes a @OData type property, which specifies the member type as odd user conversation member. This helps the system recognize the object as a user who can participate in conversations and have ownership rights. Finally, all owners are added through the members array within the JSON body of the request. By including each owner in this array, we can efficiently assign multiple owners at once, streamlining team management and ensuring the right people have the right access from the start. This automation ultimately supports better control and organization within our Microsoft Teams environment. Now, let's look at specifying standard channels within our teams. This is all about automating the creation and management of communication spaces that are consistent across the organization. The idea is to tailor these channels to meet the specific needs of each team, ensuring everyone has the right tools and spaces from the start. The purpose of standard channels is straightforward. They help organize communication by giving each channel a clear name, like operations, that everyone recognizes. You can also set the attribute, which pins the channel for users, making it easier for them to access important conversations. Additionally, adding a description helps explain the channel's purpose and how it should be used, fostering better communication and collaboration. When defining these channels, everything is specified in the channels array within the team creation JSON. Each channel entry includes key attributes that control its configuration and behavior. This approach makes it easy to set up multiple channels systematically and consistently. To put it simply, defining channels in JSON allows us to automate and streamline the setup process. It ensures that each channel has the right name, visibility, and purpose from the moment it's created, supporting our overall goal of efficient, standardized team communication. Now, let's talk about adding tabs to channels. This customization allows us to support integrated workflows and provides easy access to resources right within the channel. By customizing tabs, we can embed relevant apps or web content directly where our team collaborates, making everything more streamlined. When we look at the JSON structure for these tabs, it includes a couple of key components. First, there's the Teams app at OData, bind, which is a reference to the app catalog item in Teams. Then there's the display name, which is simply the name of the tab as it will appear to users. And finally, the configuration section contains the content URL, which points to the web resource or app we want to embed. For example, if we want to add an IT consulting tab, we would specify its name and point to the web URL that hosts the IT consulting tools or resources. This way, the tab becomes a seamless part of the channel, enhancing our team's ability to work efficiently. Tabs significantly enhance channel functionality by embedding apps or web content directly into the workspace. This means our team can access tools, documents, or dashboards without leaving Teams. The overall purpose of adding tabs in channels is to customize and optimize our collaboration environment. It makes resources more accessible and helps automate workflows, ultimately boosting productivity. So, in summary, adding tabs is a powerful way to tailor channels to our specific needs, making Teams a more integrated and resource-rich platform. Now, let's talk about creating private channels in Microsoft Teams. Imagine you want a dedicated space for C-level conversations, like a private, executive channel. This is a great example of how private channels can be used effectively. When defining members for these channels, you can explicitly specify who belongs and assign roles or user bindings. This way, you're in full control of who has access. To set up these private channels, you typically use the Microsoft Graph API, making sure to set the channel type to private. This is a crucial step because it ensures the channel is indeed restricted. The main benefit here is that private channels limit access to only a subset of team members, which is essential for sensitive discussions. This setup helps maintain confidentiality within your team environment. So, whether you're managing executive strategies or sensitive projects, private channels give you the flexibility and security you need to keep information restricted to the right people. Now, let's look at creating shared channels, which is a powerful way to facilitate collaboration across organizations. Here, we see an example of a shared channel called IT support. This channel helps streamline communication with managed service providers' IT teams. The key advantage is that it maintains security while enabling effective cross-organizational collaboration. To give you a clearer picture, access needs to be configured specifically for external IT support staff. This involves setting up the channel as shared through an API, which allows for seamless integration and management. Shared channels are designed so that external users can collaborate without needing to be added as full team members. This approach simplifies the process, keeps things secure, and ensures that external partners can contribute just as effectively as internal team members. Overall, this method offers a flexible, secure way to extend collaboration beyond organizational boundaries, aligning perfectly with our goal of leveraging automation to streamline team management in Microsoft Teams. Now, let's take a look at how we can automate the creation and management of Microsoft Teams using a workflow triggered by a SharePoint list. This approach offers seamless integration with our existing business processes, making it provisioning much more efficient. The key here is the event-driven trigger. It means that the entire provisioning process kicks off automatically whenever a specific event happens, in this case, when a new item is added to the SharePoint list. No manual steps are needed, which saves time and reduces errors. The SharePoint list itself acts as a kind of input form for team details. It's where users can enter information about the new team they want to create. Once that data is entered, the automation takes over. When a new item appears in the list, it triggers a Power Automate flow that automatically creates the new team's environment. This seamless, automated process ensures that teams are set up quickly and accurately, aligning perfectly with our goal of streamlining IT operations and enhancing productivity. Now, let's take a closer look at the SharePoint list setup details, focusing on automating Microsoft Teams creation and management. This setup is specifically designed to organize all the data related to team creation, making the entire process much more efficient. By supporting streamlined management of team information, it helps ensure that everything is organized and accessible. The main purpose of configuring this SharePoint list is to provide a structured way to input team creation data. This structure is crucial because it ensures the data is accurate and consistent, which is key for successful team setup. When the data is reliable, the process of creating and managing teams becomes much smoother. To enhance usability, we can customize the list form. This allows us to improve the user experience, making it easier for users to enter the correct information. Additionally, implementing data validation helps enforce structured input, reducing errors and maintaining data quality. Now, let's look at some optional customizations that can make the experience even better. For example, the practice name field is a simple text field used to specify the team name. The practice manager field is a people and groups field that assigns the team owner. And if needed, there's an optional field for team member names, which is also a people and groups field for adding additional members. Finally, it's important to highlight the required fields in the SharePoint list. These are the essential pieces of information needed to create a team reliably and efficiently. By ensuring these fields are filled out correctly, we set the foundation for smooth team creation and management. Now that we've set up the basics, let's look at how we configure the automated flow for managing Microsoft Teams. First, we need to add private and shared channels as needed to ensure our team structure is flexible and tailored to our needs. This step is crucial because it allows us to organize conversations and resources effectively within the team. Next, creating the team itself involves sending an HTTP post request to the Microsoft Graph API. In this request, we include a JSON body that specifies the channels we want to create and the owners of the team. This ensures that the team is set up correctly right from the start. But before we can make that API call, we need to obtain an authorization token. This token must be secured, and best practice is to retrieve it via Azure Key Vault or other secure inputs. This step keeps our authentication process safe and compliant with security standards. Once we have our token, we authenticate securely, enabling us to perform the necessary actions without exposing sensitive information. Finally, we gather the input data, such as the practice name, manager, and team members, by retrieving this information automatically. This process is triggered whenever a new item is created in the SharePoint list, making the flow seamless and efficient. In summary, the key points here are adding channels, creating the team via API, securing authentication, and retrieving input data, all working together to automate team management effectively. This automation ties back to our overall goal of streamlining collaboration and reducing manual effort in our organization. Now, let's take a closer look at this hands-on workflow demonstration. What we're showcasing here is how automation can streamline the process of creating and managing Microsoft Teams. This practical example really highlights the tangible benefits of automation, such as saving time and reducing errors, while also confirming that everything is set up correctly. Next, we'll verify the newly created team in Microsoft Teams. This step ensures that all channels and members are properly configured and aligned with our expectations. It's important because it confirms that the automation process is functioning as intended and that the team setup is accurate. As we move along, you'll observe the flow run in real time and see the status updates as they happen. Watching this live gives you a clear picture of how the automation progresses step by step, providing transparency and immediate feedback on each action. The Power Automate flow is triggered automatically during this demonstration, so there's no need for manual intervention. This automatic trigger is a key feature that makes the process efficient and hands-free. Finally, we're creating a new SharePoint list item with practice details as part of this demo. This step illustrates how the automation can seamlessly integrate different Microsoft 365 services, connecting SharePoint with Teams to create a smooth, integrated workflow. Overall, this demo underscores how automation not only simplifies repetitive tasks, but also enhances accuracy and efficiency across your collaborative tools. Now, let's talk about handling failed team creation and how we can automate the process to keep everything running smoothly. Timely cleanup is crucial because it prevents delays and helps maintain the overall hygiene of our environment. For example, SharePoint sites are permanently deleted after 93 days, giving us an extended window to perform cleanup activities if needed. It's important to understand the retention policies for SharePoint sites to ensure we're compliant and efficient. Similarly, groups are permanently deleted after 30 days, so keeping track of these timelines helps us plan our cleanup efforts properly. By removing failed teams, SharePoint sites, or M365 groups, we eliminate conflicts and free up team names for reuse, which is especially important in a busy environment. To do this effectively, we can use the SharePoint Admin Center and Entra ID Admin Center to identify any failed resources. These tools allow us to locate failed teams, SharePoint sites, or M365 groups quickly and take appropriate action. Overall, proactive cleanup helps us avoid clutter, prevents conflicts, and ensures a smooth, efficient environment for everyone. Understanding these timelines is truly critical for effective teams, provisioning, and ongoing maintenance. When we talk about proper cleanup, it's not just about deleting a team. It's about making sure we can reuse team names without waiting for those default retention periods to expire. This can save us time and help keep our environment organized. Now, let's look at the retention periods. M365 groups are retained for 30 days after deletion in Entra ID, giving us a window to recover if needed before they're permanently removed. Similarly, SharePoint sites stay in the recycle bin for 93 days, which is quite a generous period to restore anything accidentally deleted. It's also important to remember that deleting a team isn't just about removing the team itself. It also deletes the associated SharePoint site and the M365 group. So, understanding these timelines helps us plan our cleanup activities properly and avoid unintended data loss. Overall, being aware of these retention periods and their impact on our teams and sites ensures smoother management and helps us stay compliant and organized in our environment. Now, let's look at some key resources for working with the Microsoft Graph API. First, securing your workflows is crucial, especially when automating tasks like creating and managing teams. That's where Azure Key Vault comes in. It helps you store and retrieve secrets securely, making sure sensitive information stays protected when used in Power Automate workflows. Next, understanding how to secure API access is fundamental, and OAuth 2 is the core standard here. It provides a reliable way to authenticate and authorize applications, ensuring only the right entities can access your data. To implement this, you'll need to create service principals, which act as identities for your applications. We've got a step-by-step guide on how to register an app in Microsoft Entra ID, which is essential for managing permissions and establishing trust between your app and Microsoft services. Additionally, the Entra Applications API Overview offers comprehensive documentation on what the Teams API can do. It covers all the endpoints and capabilities you'll need to automate and extend Teams functionalities effectively. By understanding these resources and concepts, you'll be better equipped to develop secure, efficient automation workflows that leverage the full power of Microsoft Graph and Teams. Let's talk about securing secrets and tokens, which is a critical part of automating Microsoft Teams creation and management. First, it's essential to ensure compliance with security standards. This means following best practices to protect sensitive information throughout the automation process. Next, we need to protect our organization's credentials during automation. This involves implementing measures that prevent unauthorized access or exposure of credentials at any point. When we leverage Entra ID app registration permissions, we should grant only the necessary scopes, following the principle of least privilege. This minimizes the risk by giving apps only the access they truly need. Regular rotation of client secrets is also vital. Changing secrets periodically reduces the window of opportunity for potential misuse. Additionally, monitoring app registrations for unauthorized access helps us catch any suspicious activity early. Implementing OAuth 2 client credentials flow allows us to obtain tokens dynamically, which minimizes exposure by not storing long-lived tokens. When using Power Automate, we should utilize its secure inputs and outputs settings to obscure sensitive data during HTTP actions, ensuring secrets are not visible in logs or outputs. Furthermore, avoid embedding secrets as plain text within workflows. Instead, use secure storage solutions like Azure Key Vault to store client secrets safely. This way, sensitive data remains protected and separate from the workflow logic. By combining these strategies, strict permissions, regular secret rotation, dynamic token management, and secure storage, we build a robust security framework that aligns with our overall goal of secure and compliant automation. Now, let's talk about monitoring the provisioning status with do until loops in Power Automate. This is a crucial step because it ensures that teams are fully created before we move on to any further actions. By incorporating these loops, we can avoid issues that might arise if subsequent steps are triggered prematurely. Next, we have the concept of monitoring team provisioning status. This helps us keep track of when a team is ready, so our automation can proceed smoothly. Moving on, we can also integrate web apps or internal resources directly into channel tabs. This customization streamlines user access and significantly enhances the overall functionality of our team's environment. Another powerful feature is using SharePoint lists as triggers in Power Automate. This allows us to dynamically create teams with consistent channels, including private and shared channels, which is essential for secure collaboration. If you need to reuse a team name immediately after deleting it, there's a manual step involved. You have to remove the team, the associated SharePoint site, and the M365 group through their respective admin centers. This bypasses the usual waiting periods for resource cleanup. Keep in mind, when deleting teams, the associated SharePoint sites and M365 groups aren't deleted instantly. They have retention periods. SharePoint sites are retained for 93 days, while groups are retained for 30 days. Finally, I want to mention some advanced tips and tricks to help you automate Microsoft Teams creation and management more effectively. These strategies can save you time and ensure your processes are both efficient and secure. Now, as we wrap up, let's review the key next steps to ensure your implementation is successful. First, it's essential to familiarize yourself with the Microsoft Graph API resources we've discussed and set up your Entra ID app registration properly. This foundation is critical for secure and efficient integration. Next, focus on implementing secure token management practices within your Power Automate flows. Protecting your authentication tokens is vital to maintaining the security of your automation processes. Moving forward, understanding retention policies and deletion processes will help you manage the entire team's lifecycle more effectively. Knowing when and how to retain or delete teams ensures your environment stays organized and compliant. Additionally, leveraging SharePoint lists as triggers can make your workflows more scalable and user-driven. This approach empowers users to initiate team provisioning easily and at scale. On the security front, always prioritize managing authentication securely. Using Entra ID app registrations coupled with Azure Key Vault helps safeguard secrets and tokens, reducing potential vulnerabilities. Finally, automating Teams creation with predefined templates, covering standard, private, and shared channels, ensures consistency and supports your organization's needs seamlessly. By following these steps, you'll be well on your way to managing teams efficiently, securely, and at scale, aligning perfectly with the overall goal of streamlined collaboration.